Yo lo grabo más. Hello, Adrian. How are you?
Vale. Well, we are going to wait around 6 minutes to see who else can connect. Adrian, do you want to talk about something? What you are here to start the conversation? In our Twitter space, okay, we will want to make every Friday a Twitter space with remarkable people of the community to talk about different topics. For example, marketing strategies, about Cardano, the opportunity Cardano can bring, what is a CA, a BCA, all you can do here in this platform about blockchain, Web3, on-chain and off-chain technology, projects, and all of that.
I am sending the link to the chat so Adrian can know in our community when we publish every event.
Hey, Adrian, I want to know something. If you usually participate in some Twitter space, if you are joining or what kind of experience you have with this, because we are creating this event for this new format, and it will be perfect to get a feedback of the community. Hello, Vinay.
Hi.
How are
How
you?
you guys doing?
Sorry, Vinay?
Can you hear
Yeah, we can hear
me?
you.
Yeah, with some
Hello?
issues, internet issues.
Yeah. It's been long. How's your guys?
Sorry, we can hear you so well. Adrian says in the chat that have you joined other Cardano Twitter spaces? Yes, some great spaces in Cardano can be found here at a cafe. We know them.
Hello, Marta.
Any of the hosts here will be a very well organized space in the Cardano community. Okay, that's very interesting. Thank you for the advice.
Yeah, I didn't know this website. So. Oh, you have here a calendar from Monday to, oh yeah, to Sunday. And I see this is a website only focused to Cardano Twitter space. This is good for now. What kind of categories or topics are the Cardano community making in Twitter space? I mean, for provide other kind of discussion, right?
And I see Marta L is here. Oh, you have kick. Do you want to tell? Hi, Vinay.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, Vinay is an old friend of mine. When I started this job, my first chat and video call was with Vinay in his virtual space. Do you remember that? Do you have
Yeah,
the
quite
more
some time.
long
It's been
of that?
3 months.
Yeah.
It's been 3 to 4 months.
With Konma. So how is Konma? How is your team? How's your development? I say a congrats when you get finance in Fund 7.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll be closing our Fund 7 project next month. So we asked for 6 months, but yeah, Konma Labs is doing pretty well. So right now we are close to a 20 plus core team, 8 plus working team, and we have 13 plus mentoring team. And then we have 16 students undergoing our Konma Flares. So Konma Flare is basically a fellowship, a Web3 fellowship, where we teach them basics of blockchain and what is decentralization, what are decentralized community ethics. So again, yeah, when it comes to labs, we got funded for developing the Haskell developer talent pool. So we have close to 7 Haskell people. So these students get trained on Haskell in their first year of college. But so we found this institute right next to our office. So it's 10 kilometers away from our office. So they've been teaching Haskell for over 10 years now. So the institute teaches, but the students there, they don't have that awareness on where Haskell is being used, or in fact their knowledge about Web3 or blockchain is very minimal. So we are
I know
just
that
upskilling them, and next we would like. Sorry.
it's not, yeah, it's not easy to find a great team, a team that you trust, a team with the skills that you want. So I know what kind of challenge could be that, but you are facing off that challenge. And what are the other
Basically, we are
challenges and
building
what
right from
you have
scratch.
the yeah
Sorry.
yeah, that's right, that's right. No, I'm just make a joke. You have the hair so long when I meet you. So
Yeah. It's like,
do you have a new profile today? So what are the next steps of Konma? What are you looking inside Catalyst? Your vision nowadays is put it outside Catalyst. I want to know what's your vision for your projects founded or not founded and the future of your company.
so again, now we were concentrated. So we got funded for the right. So we put in 7 proposals last time. So we got funded for Konma Labs. Now Konma Labs is all about basically we are building Konma Chain, which is a side chain on Cardano. So basically, so Konma chain is going to be the kernel for Konma or backbone for Konma. Once we have that, we'd be able to like what we are trying to build is a governance protocol. So to do the community deliverance. So uh, now last time we put in a proposal for Konma swap, which is a DEX for Konma. So that way now we have Konma Hope, which is a launch pad for Konma. So we already run 2 programs under Konma Hope. So we have Konma Sprout, which is a entrepreneur mentoring program, and then we have Code Clash, which is a hackathon by Konma. And we already started. So two parallels, as in we are building two verticals hand in hand. Be the community, be the technology. So to build the technology, we have our expertise when it comes to Solidity and Rust. So in fact, the head of tech at Konma, he is a 24-year-old cyber warfare specialist. So he is good at Solidity. So we were just we were like last year around August is when we got in touch with IOHK. In fact, so it was too early. September 12th is when the Alonso fork happened last year. So since then we've been really involved with the community, Cardano community, since I went to Emergo for my blockchain education. So that way now, yeah, it's too uh, I'd say it's too hectic. Last 3 months, I couldn't like come out, talk to like. In fact, like me attending town hall was being a big task. So again, we are like setting up our ground scenes. So we are creating something called a Cardano food forest. So it's permaculture. So based on
It,
permaculture and blockchain functionality. Yeah.
no, I want to say that it's really interesting, but as you say, Konma is a high-tech project environment. So I want to understand how we are working on to make the adoption of Konma more easy to the people. Do you hire some community leaders, community managers? Why I question this, because I'm a community leader in Innovatio and Sophia is too. And it's very important to transmit that idea to the people. When I was to talk with you the first time, it was a little bit difficult because it was high tech
Yeah.
profile. But I think if you found someone or how to make more understandable to other people will be so great. I found that you are the Discord of Konma is now talking. A lot of people are talking today, so it's really interesting. In found 8 active again, And it's very important to do that to make the Discord can more active, you know? So that's a really interesting point to see in Konma. Because you say it, it's a very difficult to explain in town hall because it's a high tech project. So it's really, really important to see how you can explain with a team. You don't need to do it by yourself, but to tell the people what are you doing, what is Konma, why they want to follow Konma, what's important of Konma, what are the values and philosophy of Konma.
Yeah.
So
again,
that's a really nice point.
So what I would say is, like you say, so all these what we are working on are open source projects, as in anyone can like just fork, they'll be able to like build, they don't have to build from scratch. So all that matters is how do you create community around a product or a community when it comes to a Web3 space. So how do you compare Web 2 and a Web 3? So how do you convey to a layman? So it's not about, again, talking tech. I would say there's no point talking about blockchain to everyone. They don't understand. So how do we make them understand? So you need to give them real world use cases. So when it comes to Konma, at Konma Labs, we've been building solutions where we like give them real world examples. So when it comes to Konma Labs, we have this brand that is incubated in Konma Labs where we do food traceability. So a tree to bar traceability for a chocolate. So that way now a customer buys, we are able to like just tell them, so related to real world use cases. So now off late you like the server, the Discord server is getting, as in we haven't concentrated on Discord till date. We were more concentrating on Conmaverse, which is our 2D metaverse, and Conma Hood, which is a Twitter or a Reddit kind of a social media. So our aim was to like more of like we had rest of the channels, say like Twitter or Discord or any of these channels as announcement channels, and we were like sending the traffic towards Conma Hood and Conmaverse. But now Conma Labs, where we are bringing in on every Saturdays, we are going to host a innovation management session where people get to like just share their ideas, and we have like the entire human resource there, or I would say the community there, where they come with a different skill set. So somebody pitches and somebody gets an idea on how do we build this. So that way now every Saturday it's going to be like an open pitching session where people bring in ideas, and the rest of the community or the experts in the community, they tend to like drive the project next. So that
Okay.
way, like on Mondays we educate people, so we call it the Konma upskill. On Wednesdays, in fact, we got done with Konma United, which is a networking session on Wednesdays, and on Fridays we have our boot camps, and on Saturdays we are coming up with our
Vinay, I
mentoring.
will to ask if you want to put all the activities in our chat so the people
Yeah,
is here can see it.
I'll
And
actually share you a Medium link that would like convey everything about Konma. So what
that's
you've seen
great.
Konma 3 months ago to what we are today, so you'll be like able to like bridge the gap.
Great, great. Send the link. So hello,
Yeah.
James. Thank you
Hi.
for being here. So I don't know if you want to you come here to talk about something specifically, or you feel attracted for the name of the breakout, or you hear about innovation.
No, I just thought the breakout would be quite interesting. I've been rushing around. I caught a little bit of your presentation after town hall, and it was but I was driving at the time, so I just thought I'd come in and see what you guys are up to, and yeah, see if I can get inspired.
Okay, so do you have some projects in Catalyst in this Found 8, or you have it in Found 7, or you just only here to learn more about that?
I've got so I joined I came involved in Catalyst in Fund 8 as a CA, But of course, as soon as you get you start to get involved and you start to see the opportunities, you know, little ideas spark off here and there. And I've got a potential proposal for Fund 9 that I might be working on, and I've got a couple of other things sort of in the background that if I can get the right, because I'm not technical. I've got one project that needs quite a strong team.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be a bit of a slow burner.
It's a very technical project idea. It's high tech. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a friend of mine works in construction industry, and that he does it's engineering, but they do a lot of consulting on technology for large buildings, and even they're developing smart cities as well. And we're looking at trying to integrate smart contracts into the fabric of buildings, so sort of Internet of Everything meeting sort of blockchain, so that they can, because a lot of large projects have got a lot of there's a lot of goals that need to be met. For example, you know, carbon footprint, and there's a lot of background work that needs to be done by individuals. It can be quite costly to prove that buildings are meeting their goals, on whatever they might be. So this is the sort of bigger project, is trying to get a set of sensors that can be built into the fabric of buildings, which you can then basically trigger smart contracts to prove the sustainability of the builds. It's going to be quite an exciting one.
Okay, that's really interesting. If I can make you two advice, do you have experience to be in a CA? But if your idea is high-tech idea and very specifically, do this. Make more understandable that you can for one size, and for the other size, do the specific things of your high-tech project. Why I say this? Because in Catalyst, do you think about the marketing of the idea and how can be more closer to the people? You know, I'm in Catalyst today. I have a lot of proposal. I must to see what is attracting me more. So for one size, you must put it as simple as you can so people can understand, but to comply for the specific people are happy with your presentation, must put the specifications in that idea. So that's the advice. How you can, the first, put it most easy as you can, so people can make attract and interested in your idea and make a lot of specification. AX, I don't know if you want to say something.
Yeah, I want to put my example. We are from Argentina, so our native language is Spanish. So it's hard to try to explain the blockchain things in your own language. So thinking in do this translation from Spanish to English. So it's hard. So that advice of try to build an easy concept of what you want to build and you want to make, and try to get the feedback of the community and see if they understand what what you want to do, what you want to make and accomplish. That will be the best advice for start here. Then when the people can understand what you want to do, you can see how you solve it. Well, for one hand, you can sell it on a good high-tech solution for Cardano. And in the other hand, you can sell it as a community solution of value for Catalyst. But try that. Try to put the idea and what you want to make in an easy way to explain it to the community, and then get the feedback and see where you put more value in a high-tech solution or in a community value.
That's a really good advice. And remember, and everyone here, that we have a Let's Talk About It space, a space where people can come and say, hey, I want to talk about this topic. Also, if you can review my idea or the redaction, and we can help with our experience. I can't say you in the high-tech things, look, do this, do that. No, but I can say we must to improve this part, put more in the impact of the proposal. It's very interesting. And James, I know that in your experience as a CA, you can see the importance of that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's actually it was quite interesting because you know I've obviously only done it for this round, but it's very easy to see people who have got experience within the community and have written proposals before. They kind of know how it needs to be laid out for the CAs to be able to give them good reviews. Whereas you've got some great ideas out there, and the proposals are just nowhere near where they need to be.
Exactly. I don't know what I want to hear the opinion of Nick, and I want to say something. Nick, do you want to make your opinion or tell us more about you and your project?
Hey guys, nice to meet you all. I was what was the briefing for this breakout room, because I actually missed it at the start. So just so I know how to.
Don't worry.
Just so I know what to say.
The constructions of mentoring and entrepreneurship. Forget about what my question. Tell me about you. Why you are here in the breakout room, knowing this specifically in the town hall. Have you have a project? What you're interested in nowadays in Catalyst and in the Cardano projects?
Cool. Well, it's nice to meet you. I am part of ProofSpace, which has a funded proposal from F7, and ProofSpace is a decentralized identity network that's wrapped with a no-code tooling for building and validating and scaling identity workflows. The market for decentralized identity requires people to be really quite sophisticated as engineers, and we eliminate those barriers to entry by making it super easy for people to build and scale the workflows in their businesses. And we built the stack on Indy originally, Hyperledger Indy, which is one of the protocols, and we're integrating Atala Prism, which is Cardano's SSI protocol, so that we can bring the no-code capability and the ease of use of our platform to Atala Prism credentials. And I suppose our goal with the F7 proposal is to ensure that more projects that want to use decentralized identity in Cardano are able to reach production by removing those tech barriers to entry. So that's going well so far, and we've got lots of proposals in Fund 8 as well. And I'm pretty excited about it all. I love the community, and so far I just think it's a very impressive and dynamic environment.
Thank you, Nick. I want to know something. When you are talking about identity, it's linked to make some KYC for some web app or application, right?
So we define identity actually very broadly. An identity credential, when you hear people in the decentralized ID community talk about it, they'll always talk about credentials. So an identity credential can attest to any part of your personal data. So it can be your financial data, your healthcare data, your education, such a huge range of possibilities. So when we talk about identity, we mean, yes, it's the stuff that you can use to onboard a new customer. You can broadly categorize that as KYC, but it's also all of the personal data interactions that you have throughout the life cycle of your engagement with that customer.
Okay.
and those workflows carry on for onboarding, for sign up, for sign in, for access management, for reputation management, for permissioning, for certification, so many different use cases.
Excellent. Can you send the proposal to the chat? Because we are
Yeah.
developing a crowdfunding platform, and the intention of this crowdfunding platform is to give the normal customer outside the blockchain world the easy barrier to enter to these new apps. So we are developing a web app in the Web 2, and we are deploying the marketplace with the smart contract in the Web 3 on Cardano. So it's interesting that what you say of is not only related with the identity, the thing of KYC and who are you, also the all interaction and process that you make in some web app. So it's interesting. I want to check it. So first of all,
that's really interesting.
Congrats for the project funded. And
say again.
Sorry,
I had a connection problem. What did you say?
no, first of all, congrats for the funded projects in the Fund 7. And I will take a look because it's interesting the point of view that you do with the identity thing.
I want to know, you think that you see in the Cardano community a dynamic community, but what do you think the community provides to you? I know that you get founded, but what do you think, what value do you think the community provides to you? What knowledge, what experiences?
I mean, I think it's a community of relatively knowledgeable people, Web3 knowledgeable people, and that makes it an exciting place to work for us, because we are increasingly Web3 focused, and it means that our conversations tend to get to a more action-oriented position faster. We spend less time educating, more time actually doing stuff. So that's really motivating for me and my team. The other thing is that this is an impact-oriented community. I think generally I find that there's generally a kind of convergence around a set of values that are really positive in my view, and I haven't really seen them in other communities that I've participated in through the last few years, in the way that this community has been organized. So that, that's motivating again for me and my team. And honestly, when you're trying to run a distributed team with many of our developers are in Ukraine, and the pandemic has been difficult for every startup pretty much on the planet, motivation is so important. So if we can win some funding for some really important innovations, if we can help the community to achieve their goals by getting more projects to production, if we can learn as much as we're learning from different community members about different use cases, and if we can be motivated along the way, I think that's, what more can you ask for?
It's really interesting to see how your project, you say that your team works with the philosophy of do more and not educate. And a lot of projects are focused on educate to do more. So that shows how community can converge and how Catalyst and Cardano community can grow together, can do a lot of things together. It's so important to see that. Because if everyone's here says in the community, I want to do more, educate less, doesn't gonna work for any of us, and a lot of people will get out of these new experiments, as Daniel always say. And it's really interesting to see how community can converge. And Nick, I want to ask you a final question.
Just to clarify, I'm not saying that we
no
operating to the exclusion of
obviously.
but it's just I'm saying that it's a knowledgeable community, so it's a smaller barrier to entry.
No, but it's really interesting, because if people only say, I want to educate and do less, this will blow up. This is going to be a mess. Catalyst will be a mess. So the community needs people and teams like yours with the philosophy of do more, and people with the philosophy of the team that want to educate more. And that can converge. It's very important to clarify that. And I want to make you a last question. Will be a little bit difficult to answer, but I want to ask you, why do you think the community vote to your idea, to your team? Why they put their ADAS, why they vote you, why they put their trust in your idea? Because I want to say a conclusion later of that.
Well, I like to think that it was, well presented proposal, that it was pretty clear what we're trying to do, and that what we're trying to do has value to the community. I think there's a gap in the Cardano ecosystem for tools that make it easier for people to get projects to production using decentralized identity, and I think our proposal fits into that gap, and I suppose I interpret the fact that people voted for us as, it's not a complete validation of that assumption, but I think it's a kind of a validation of the assumption.
Why I ask that? Because I want to give James, that is going to put his first proposal in the next round, my advice. In my experience, I know that the 3 keys of idea to get founded is the reduction, the budget that they ask, and the marketing of that idea. With those 3 keys, you can get founded. If you listen the feedbacks of the redaction or marketing for the people of the community, and you write it again, put more effort in what you are more weakness, where your weakness is in, the people of the community are going to vote to your project. So with that 3 keys, I think, it's my opinion, your proposal can be founded in this round, in the next one, and in the next one, or after the rules change. But as Nick says, my proposal was great reduction, was clarifying. So that's 1 key. I think the other 2 are the marketing strategies and the budget that you ask. If you send for $1 million, you will not get founded and not get good assessments. But it's really important to see that. So that's my opinion. James, I hope that advice could help you. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, actually, I've got a couple of potential proposals, and actually, it was something I'd like to sort of ask sort of the group, I guess. Something that I'm sort of struggling with looking at budgets. As ideas develop, because of the nature of this community, if you sort of strike a chord with someone, then there's, people want to collaborate. I mean, again, Nick, you've already got a team. Have you had people collaborate on your project, or have you just kept your initial team?
Yeah, this is actually a really, it seems to be a hot topic in the community. We are doing it. We're implementing our project independently from a perspective of the development requirements, but our project is impossible without collaborators. A part of our a proposal, like a milestone, a deliverable in our proposal, is that we'll launch some pilot projects using the tool, using the integration that we complete, that was funded by the Treasury. So there's a group of collaborations that will go live, and And so, yeah, like internally, the tech has been developed by our team. But our approach generally is deeply collaborative. There's no use case will ever go live with our technology unless we get into this mode of being really intensely collaborative with people. And that again has been another really good learning from this community, because it's new, we're learning about different ways of collaborating. Sorry, you didn't really answer your question. I think there are some proposals in Fund 7 and Fund 8 that are looking at how people can find the right human resources across the Catalyst community and the Cardano community more broadly. There's one, for example, called Snapbrilia, which has a platform for listing projects, assigning bounties for those projects, attracting talent to claim the bounties by filling whatever tasks are required in the project, and then rewarding the people who completed the task by giving them the bounty. And that's actually they seem to be really, really on the ball about making that happen. So, and I think there's a few other not substitutes, but comparable proposals out there.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point of view. Yeah, Tosh.
Again, so I've got sort of one quite ambitious project and one that's sort of a lot more sort of reachable, which is a proposal for onboarding new CAs by targeting university groups. For example, in the UK, you've got student unions. So actually targeting, for example, computer science groups, so that the people that are coming in to be CAs have got a base knowledge to be able to review some of the more technical projects with some understanding. Whereas if you're a qualified dev and you're out there making big money, the chances are you're not going to want to take a week out of your time to go and review proposals and Catalyst. Whereas if you're, then it would work in two ways, because you're giving the students an opportunity to make some money whilst they're in their education, but also then you're introducing them to Catalyst, so the new talent of the future will already have been introduced to Cardano, and hopefully then will be sort of channeled into the Cardano ecosystem. But so that where that's a smaller project and wouldn't need a huge budget, but as I've started to develop it, I've had a couple of people say, yeah, I could, I'd like to be involved in this. I want to put something in, and then the idea gets sort of developed a little bit. As when you're proposing, you're having to put a budget forward, but because these fresh ideas change so rapidly. I mean, this is the thing I know is how do you set a budget? Because if you don't want to overreach and look like you're taking the mickey for a small project. But
okay. Yeah,
you don't want
a lot
to come
of
up short and then have a lot of work for no reward. You know where I'm coming from.
Yes. A lot of things to say. Okay. Well, for the budget thing, the budget problem, I think to recommend, in my opinion, always this is my opinion and my experience inside Catalyst, I recommend it to, if you need a huge financing, put the project in phases. What a lot of people do in the next Fund 9, put a project, this phase will be that, this dot. And in the next one, in the third month, you ask for a budget for 3 months. And in the next one, you ask again. And what is that important? If you get funded for the first time in the first phase, you can show the community what you can do, your potential. So if you make a reputation, you can do this project in phases, and the people will approve you, will vote to you. With the idea of CAs and BCAs, will be more difficult, and you have to see one problem there. The idea is that anyone get out to the CA's process. So for example, I'm a CA, I have experience in Catalyst, and I'm studying to become a lawyer. I don't know high tech, I can make high tech reviews, but I can see if the qualification of the team, if they have a good roadmap, if they have clear idea, so what they want to do, what they're going to do with the budget. So with the idea of CAs and BCAs, I think the community, you must see to how to adapt that, to demonstrate that anyone can be let out to the CA's process. I don't know, AX, if you want to say something, or, okay. It's really interesting to see that, because in Catalyst community, we and they want to, anyone can do an assessment in which part of the world, in any part of the world, any kind of people, with any social classes. It's very important to see that. So, and with the collaborations, all is related. A lot of people do it with reputation. As I say, James, with a great reputation, collaborate with Nick Manson. It's his new idea, it's his new project. I know that James has the potential, the experience to do that, and the idea of Nick was outstanding. It's great, can help to the environment. So I, as a CA, I can see it. As a community member, I can see it. So I say, okay, James has the experience and Nick has the idea. The roadmap is good. I will vote to them. So that's my opinion of all your concerns.
Yeah, that does that makes sense, and because that you know, from somebody actually, I think, has sort of offered to collaborate with me. It's probably specifically for that, because the idea is actually quite simple, but as I have no sort of history in proposing in Catalyst, I think that's, you know, because I think that's something when you're looking at sort of feasibility of projects, you know, if that's one of the easiest things to look at. Has someone proposed before? Have they delivered on what they said they will? And if they have, straight away, it sort of improves your chances of getting funded.
Well, in that scenario, you must do entrepreneurship politics. It's a benefit to me to collaborate with this guy, or I can make a reputation and make activities as Innovatio do, or go to some activities to make a reputation, to demonstrate that I can, to make a James Babb reputation, you know? So in that kind of things, you must think as a politic, in my opinion. Well, an analytics don't how to say it, or an engineer don't how to say what to do in that situation. That's why anyone can get out. You must think as a politic, work as an entrepreneur, work sometimes as a freelancer. They're all converge in this community. So you must think the benefits, the profits, or disadvantages of collaborate or not with that people. Reputation also can help, as you say. With the reputation of people, you can get both, but you can say, it's good for me to make this reputation. I need it, or I can make my own reputation. That's my opinion. I don't know, Nick, do you have a lot of opinions? Yeah.
I want to share also my experience with that, James. I don't know anything about the technical, in the technical slide. I don't know anything about type any kind of code. So my role as a CEO is, well, of course, try to put an IT department I have my partner Alvaro in the IT department with that role. But when I started with this, the first idea was to develop a crowdfunding platform, but I don't have any idea about code. So I started to understand a technical level of blockchain and development. I can understand how the things in the programming way works, but I don't know how to make it in code. So try to see where you can put your value and your knowledge in the kind of project that you want to make. Because when you will go to the community to search what kind of partner you can find for start that project, you can also need to show what you can bring in that team and in that development. So my advice is start to see where you can put your value and knowledge in the project that you want to make, and then you can go to the community, show your project, show your idea, and find a partner that you can implement in your project with other knowledge that you don't have. So that is what I can advise you.
Yeah, appreciate that. It's good.
Well, thank you everyone to be here today. I hope you have a great experience. Thank you, Nick, with your perspective, with your experiences, with telling us how do you feel, how do you live Cardano ecosystem and Cardano community. Thank James. I hope that you feel comfortable here and you have a great feedback. Remember, all of here, you can add to our Discord. We are 24-hour connection. You can talk to us. We are always giving you help, a hand if you need something. That's why Innovatio is for. So thank you to be here. Sophia put the link in chat. Thank you. Have a great day.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Goodbye.
Great to meet you all.